Whispers. This week we're going to be talking about Runescape. Runescape was a computer game that was really big, at least as far as I know it was really big, back around 2003 to 2005 or so. I was really into it for probably a couple months. It felt like a long time, but it was probably actually only about a couple months. Back around 2004 or so, I think I was in 7th grade, and all my friends played, and it was a really popular thing, and I haven't really played it since. I know I had a friend when I was in college, like my freshman year, who was playing. He was still really into it, but that's about all that I know, and it's kind of what I remember from way back then. So we're gonna do a little bit of reading and update ourselves a little bit, learn a little bit more about RuneScape, and so let's get started, I guess. RuneScape is a fantasy MMORPG developed and published by Jagex. Released originally in January 2001, RuneScape can be used as a graphical browser game implemented on the client side in Java and incorporates 3D rendering. Since the release of the NXT client in April 2016, a non-browser-based version of the game that is written in C++ is also available. I didn't know that. The game has had over 200 million accounts created and is recognized by the Guinness World Records as the world's largest free MMORPG and the most updated game. RuneScape takes place in the world of Galenor, a medieval fantasy realm divided into different kingdoms, regions, and cities. I had no idea. I thought the world was called RuneScape. I guess that makes sense that it's not, but I had no idea. Players can travel throughout Galenor via a number of methods, including on foot, magical spells, or charter ships. Each region offers different types of monsters, resources, and quests to challenge players. The game's fictional universe has also been explored through a tie-in video game on another of its makers' websites, FunOrb, Armies of Galenor, and novels Betrayal at Valdor, Return to Canifis, and the Legacy of Blood. Players are represented in the game with customizable avatars. RuneScape does not follow a linear storyline. Rather, players set their own goals and objectives. Players can choose to fight non-player character NPC monsters, complete quests, or increase their experience in the available skills. Players can choose to fight. Players interact with each other through trading, chatting, or by participating in mini-games and activities, some of which are competitive or combative in nature, while others require cooperative or collaborative play. The first public version of RuneScape was released on 4 January 2001 in beta form, and in December 2001, Jagex was formed to manage the game. As the game's popularity grew, the game engine was rewritten, and its beta was open to paying players on the 1st of December 2003 under the name RuneScape 2, and officially released on the 29th of March 2004. The third iteration of the game, known as RuneScape 3, was released on July 22nd, 2013. I'm going to skip over the gameplay section. I'm very familiar with the game, and I kind of skimmed through the different sections. It looked pretty long and fairly technical, and I'm not that interested in reading about that, but as always, there will be a link in the description to the article if you are interested in reading any of the sections that I skipped. Or if you just want to read it yourself and laugh at how poorly I've pronounced a bunch of the words. Andrew Gower developed RuneScape with the assistance of his brother, Paul Gower. It was originally conceived as a text-based MUD, but graphics were incorporated early in development, adding it to the ranks of what were then known as graphical MUDs. mixture of three-dimensional and two-dimensional sprites. It was released as a beta version on the 4th of January 2001 and originally operated out of their parents' house in Nottingham. In December 2001, the Gower brothers, along with Constant Tedder, formed Jagex to take over the business aspects of running RuneScape. Among its early innovations, Jagex developed an interpreted domain-specific scripting language called RuneScript, which is used by RuneScape's server for event handling. In February 2002, a monthly membership service was introduced, allowing access to additional features, including new areas, quests, and items not available to free users. As the game gained more users, Jagex began planning major changes. The developers rewrote the game engine, producing a new version of the game with entirely three-dimensional graphics called RuneScape 2. A beta version of RuneScape 2 was released to paying members for a test period beginning on 1 December 2003 and ending in March 2004. Upon its official release, RuneScape 2 was renamed simply RuneScape, while the older version of the game was kept online under the name RuneScape Classic. Again, I had no idea. On 12th of January 2006, Jagex banned more than 5,000 Classic accounts for cheating. To prevent further cheating, Classic was closed to new accounts, and access was restricted to the accounts who had played it at least once between the 3rd of August 2005 and the 12th of January 2006. Additional reopenings have taken place in November 2009, June 2010, and September 2011. It is currently only possible to play Classic on an account that is logged in during at least one of these 4 periods. That's really hard. I'm kind of surprised they're still keeping it going. To support RuneScape's free content, advertisements appear on a banner above the playing screen on the free-to-play servers. Since computer users may use advertisement blockers, which may discourage advertisers, Jagex introduced a rule that prohibits players from blocking these advertisements. On the 13th of July 2006, Jagex signed an exclusive marketing and distribution contract with Wild Tangent Games, which granted Wild Tangent the right to handle advertising in and around RuneScape in the United States, and to distribute RuneScape through the Wild Tangent game networks, reaching over 20 million consumer PCs. On the 16th of May 2006, Jagex upgraded RuneScape's game engine, improving the game's loading times and reducing its memory requirements. On the 1st of July 2008, Jagex released a beta of their high detail mode for members, which was extended to free players 2 weeks later. Before the launch, Jagex stated it would be officially revealed at the 2008 E3 trade show. On the 14th of February 2007, a German translation of RuneScape was introduced, followed by a French translation on December 11th, 2008, Brazilian Portuguese on July 24th, 2009, and Latin American Spanish on April 25th, 2013. In an interview in May 2008, former Jagex CEO Jeff Edison stated that we do plan to go east with it, to the Asian market and the Eastern European market too. RuneScape is not for Japan, but it could work well in Malaysia, for example. And where's India in all this? I think RuneScape is a game that would be adopted in the English-speaking Indian world and the local-speaking Indian world. We're looking at all those markets individually. RuneScape later launched in India through the game portal Zapak on October 8th, 2009, and in France and Germany through Big Point Games on May 27th, 2010. On February 28th, 2012, an in-game feature was introduced called the Squeal of Fortune that allowed players to win items on a daily basis by spinning the wheel. On April 2nd, 2012, it became possible for players to spend real-world currency in exchange for additional spins, introducing a form of microtransaction to the game. Jagex CEO Mark Gerhardt had previously described microtransactions as a stealth tax, and the update provoked complaints from players who believed they had been betrayed by the change. In July 2012, Jagex released Solomon's General Store, making it possible to spend real currency exchanged for rune coins that could be spent on cosmetic rewards in the game. On August 29, 2012, Gerhard released a response to this controversy describing these microtransactions as having a significant role in ensuring that we can continue to support, develop, and grow the game for many more years to come. He states that while these decisions are not necessarily popular, they are made with the future of RuneScape in mind. On 4 February 2014, the Squeal of Fortune was replaced with Treasure Hunter. Rather than spinning a wheel for prizes, players are given keys which are used to open a chest of their choosing. On March 26, 2014, Gerhard reiterated his stance on microtransactions and their importance in the updating RuneScape and announced a partnership with Supersonic Ads, allowing players to earn rune coins by watching advertisements or sampling products. On August 30th, 2012, Gerhard announced that an HTML5 version of RuneScape was in development that would allow the game to be played on your favorite tablets, platforms, and even smart TVs. A video released on March 22nd, 2013, stated that the new version would be called RuneScape 3 and would utilize WebGL and would include a fully customizable user interface and improved audio. A closed beta of the HTML5 version went live on April 17th, 2013, followed by a separate alpha version of the new interface on April 24th. RuneScape 3 was released on July 22nd, 2013. At RuneFest 2014, Jagex announced that they were developing a new client to replace the HTML5 version, which had never been released from beta due to performance issues. The new client, named NXD, would include improvements to loading times, new graphical effects, and better performance. Closed betas took place on February 19th through the 22nd and March 18th through the 21st of 2016, followed by a public release on April 18th of 2016. Graphics and audio. RuneScape can be run with varying levels of graphical detail. High detail graphics enhance texture and design, while low detail graphics provide a cleaner look and can reduce lag on less powerful computers. RuneScape uses a graphics engine called RuneTech 5, which provides support for multiple graphics platforms such as DirectX, OpenGL, and video game consoles, as well as graphical effects such as skyboxes, bloom lighting, and sea buffering. The high detail version incorporates hardware acceleration and can be rendered using either Java OpenGL or DirectX. RuneScape features character customization system. Player characters are always human, however, players may choose the gender, hairstyle, facial hair, skin color, and clothing options. Appearance is further complemented by wearing or wielding items. Players can express emotions through use of specialized animations called emotes, some of which are standard and others are earned through gameplay or released during holiday events. Standard weapons of the same class, such as swords, use the same set of animations in combat, while special weapons have their own distinctive animations. RuneScape has original music and ambient soundscapes. The music was designed to define the underlying cultures of the various locations accessible, and ambient sounds, such as the cry of seagulls flying over the ocean, occur in logical places. The game also incorporates voice acting in certain areas and situations. RuneScape 3 updated, including orchestral music recorded in Bratislava, Slovakia, and was scored by James Hannigan. Servers. As of November 2011, there are 139 English RuneScape servers located throughout the world, which are numbered and referred to as worlds by players and by Jagex. They are located in the United Kingdom, the United States, Canada, the the Netherlands, Australia, Sweden, Finland, Belgium, Ireland, Norway, Denmark, New Zealand, Mexico, France, Lithuania, and India. Servers are moved or added as the need arises. Each RuneScape server allows up to 2,000 players to log in simultaneously, allowing a maximum capacity of more than 278,000 players. The servers are divided into free servers, which are available for all players, and servers which are reserved for paying members. Some servers are given activity labels, allowing players to performing tasks that require or desire group participation to group together. Old School RuneScape. On February 15th, 2013, a poll was opened allowing players to decide whether Jagex Wiki should open a separate incarnation of RuneScape from August 2007. Old School RuneScape was opened to paying subscribers on February 22nd, 2013, after the poll received 50,000 votes, and a free-to-play version was later released on February 19th, 2015. It was originally created as an exact copy of RuneScape from August 2007 and receives regular content additions. Old School RuneScape is entirely community-based. For any proposed update or idea to pass into the game, it needs at least 75% of the community to vote yes for it. And if it does not pass, it will either be dropped or reconstructed and repolled so that the players may find the update more acceptable. Deadman Mode. Deadman Mode is a separate incarnation of Old School RuneScape, released on October 29th, 2015, which features open-world player versus player combat. If one player kills another, the victorious player receives a key to a chest, letting them loot items from their victim's account. Players who engage other players in combat will be marked with the skull icon. Skulled players come under attack from NPCs if they try to enter cities, and the number of keys they are holding will be visible to other players, making them an obvious target. Players who die in Deadman Mode will lose half their experience points in all but 5 skills of the player's choice. It's kind of intense. Darkscape. On September 16th, 2015, Jagex released Darkscape, a separate version of RuneScape, which featured open-world player versus player combat. Darkscape was originally released with most of RuneScape's content, but received separate content updates. Darkscape was completely free to play, with some additional benefits reserved for paying subscribers. On February 29th, 2016, it was announced that Darkscape would close on March 28th due to a lack of interest. So, I think that's going to be it for today. I hope that you guys have enjoyed learning a little bit more about RuneScape. I definitely really enjoyed this and kind of found it to be a nice nostalgic trip. When they were talking about the music, I can kind of still hear that music playing through my head on like the loading screen. So let me know if you were really into RuneScape or if you still play it. Otherwise, I hope that you guys have